Hello everyone, welcome to Samiksha Academy. Let's read today's newspaper. Donald Trump, so for the second time, he got elected as the president of USA, 47th president, remember this fact, right? So in this context, our Prime Minister, he posted a message yesterday in the X platform, looking forward to work together, shape a better future. So I feel in this context, we should have a detailed understanding about India and USA's relationship, right? So I will be doing a detailed video regarding Indo-US relationship by discussing about its history, right? So meanwhile, just glance through what are the key points here. So trade to immigration. Yesterday also we discussed about the issues. What are the 5 issus? His take on illegal migration, right? His take on gender, his take on trade tariffs, his take on military defense relationship, right? So those aspects we discussed yesterday. So same thing you can see today also. So I will be just glancing here. But here some of the keywords he mentioned. See here, revolution of common sense. So that means like he will be going more practical manner. That means yesterday we said about that climate change. So he will be, there will be less inclination towards climate change, more towards energy sector. That means more importance will be given to the hydrocarbons and the nuclear energy. With respect to gender, see here what he mentioned, recognize only male and female. In America right now, they are having an issue with the, especially with respect to this women athletes. So trans women, right, being allowed to contest along with women athletes, and it is being a concern for women because they are feeling like they are it's a kind of domination. So the women athletes are feeling that's a concern he is trying to address here, right? See about immigration, he just mentioned he just declared an emergency at the southern border. Next, with respect to energy, just as we discussed, pardons, tariffs, climate, right? So these are the key areas on which he will be acting and he will be taking a policy stand. So this is what we should understand from this. So for India, tariffs and illegal migration, this will be a cause of concern for us. Next, see here, we discussed about the Rajouri village mystery deaths. So expert point here is there is a mix of this pesticide. So because of that the deaths are happening, not just because they are drinking water from that local what you call that water reservoir, right? Just an update regarding that. And this is with respect to that yesterday's court sentencing, the local court it sentenced lifetime imprisonment for this individual named Sanjay Rai, right, for his involvement in the brutal rape and eventual killing of that doctor from the Trezgar college. So regarding this, a kind of debate is happening. So people still protest, especially doctors protesting that lifetime sentence is not sufficient. He should be given capital punishment, that is death punishment. So we have some information regarding that. So that we will be discussing further. There is a detailed article explaining about this death penalty. So yeah, as per that judge, it was not rarest of the rare case. So then only only if you consider, if you classify that under rarest of rare case, then only we can give the death sentence. That's the whole point here. So see this one, Uttarakhand government clears UCC rule set to be rolled out after local body elections. Few days back we discussed about Uttarakhand government with it is planning for UCC except for the tribal communities. For rest of the communities it is planning for uniform civil code. And we also discussed how this Muslim community it raised some concerns regarding that. So in the update it will go on. You just tapping is enough for here. Just see here regarding the Saif attack. This local, he used the Aadhaar of local resident to get the SIM. So that's why, see why we should be aware of all this. Next, in Hyderabad, you can use it as a kind of good governance initiative. Exclusive police station for lakes, land and lung spaces, right? especially to protect the government assets and to deal with disaster management. So it's a kind of good governance initiative. Just have a look at it. Next, this is a continuation of the first page. So here not much so here also, so just the headline here, BJP and Congress field Dalit candidates from general category seats. So this is important as the election is going to happen on Feb 5th, right, for the National Capital Territory, New Delhi. So in this context, just have a look at how many women candidates, right, will be contesting. Overall, 25 women candidates from 3 political parties. Among them, from AAP 9 candidates. That means out of 70 seats, 9 candidates only from the women section, right? From BJP also 9, from Congress 7 members, right? So this is just a data like how many women are contesting. Women are on par with men in terms of sex ratio, but when it comes to contesting, still, right? So neglect still is a cause of concern. Why do women need 33% reservation? We can understand from this. Next, this is just a continuation. See this one. This again. 24-year-old held for blackmailing student threatening to leak AI generated fake nudes. So important, right? If people said because this individual posed as woman and sent friend request, a follow request on Instagram, and that girl accepted, and eventually by taking her pictures he started sending, in the name of women, he started sending these fake nude videos of her and eventually wants to blackmail. So finally got caught, but we should aware of this kind of things. So this is just have a look at this one. Congress new Nyay initiates clothing in Rahul's called white shirt. So he wants to give preference to white shirt. The reason being here for justice and equitable future. That means like, so the white is a color for common for everyone. So it's a political strategy they're following. So just tap it. See why this one is important. Bull on loose, independent MLA run in UX Rajasthan government. Yesterday there was an information regarding this particular person called as Ravindra Bhatti, right? So the core argument here is like he is stalling some of the local projects of private companies. So it's a, but his argument is these private companies, they try to exploit the local resource, especially it will be impacting the environment. So in that context, just have a look at it enough. Rest you can just glance through. You can see this one. ISRO to repeat SpaceX dock maneuvering to perfect precision. So the reason why it wants this, it wants to further repeat the process so that it will be getting the perfection. So it wants to do this process. So in that context, just an update. But again, this is important. Center allows 10 lakh metric tons sugar exports for current season. So especially after imposing a ban, right? So now once again, because due to increased production, government is allowing export of sugars. So again, it's a good news for the farmers, so that it will increase the revenue. Next, again, this is okay, fine. Multi-crore scam listing of wellness. That means how tourists are being duped, right? Especially through online portals in the name of what you call we will providing rented properties, right? So again that. Again, when yesterday we discussed about this, a village person wants to bury his father's dead body, but the villagers are not agreeing for that because They want the rites to be performed as per the Hindu religion. This is important in the context of prelims especially. ASA excavations in Ratnagiri spotlight ancient Buddhist site, its Southeast Asia links, right? Ratnagiri in Odisha, we can understand that. Next, again this one. Probe indicates 5 cops for custodial deaths. High Court directs government to file FIR. Right. See, in the recent past, we are hearing about this what you call police excesses. Right. So, these whenever we come across these kind of incidents, we have to pay attention because this is very much important in the context of what you call civil police understanding. If police need to be considered and given much more respect by the civil society, then this kind of excesses must not be committed by the police officials. So, that is the reason whenever we come across any kind of custodial violence, right, that must not be accepted. So, custodial violence shouldn't be a norm. Understood. Next, yeah, see this one, this is important. If any particular individual, alleged criminal or alleged individual has to be given a death sentence, Supreme Court, especially in this Bachchan Singh case, it clearly came up with certain kind of guidelines. It says there can be aggravating circumstances. What are the circumstances that can aggravate an individual to commit that particular crime? Right. So, what circumstances, right, if fulfilled, then the death punishment has to be given. The Supreme Court has mentioned here. Then it said only in the rarest of the by upholding death sentence. Though lot many European countries like Scandinavian countries, they removed this death sentence concept, but still in the Indian judicial system, still we upheld, the highest court of the country upheld death penalty in this Bachchan Singh case. However, it mentioned that death penalty will be given only in the rarest of the rare cases. What comes under rarest of the rare cases? Though it did not come up with any detailed explanation what can be a rarest of rare cases, but it gave some broad parameters. Suppose for example, see here, if the murder is pre-planned, right, if the murder causes exceptional depravity, that means very gruesome. Next, if the accused found guilty of murdering a public servant, right, in these cases, then a death penalty can be given, and as considering the case as rarest of the rare. Suppose for example, if there are cases like if there are chances for the individual to get reformed, if the individual's age is less than 30 years, understood. So, if there are some other circumstances available, in that case, we can give lifetime imprisonment rather than giving death penalty. Understood. So, that is why in this context right now, for even for this Rajikar incident individual also, this lifetime imprisonment was given. That means till his death, till his last breath, he will be in jail. Understood. That is about this particular incident. See again, obesity still a cause of concern. See here, out of 7 billion population, 2.5 billion adults, right, globally having this overweight. It's definitely a cause of concern. See this one, annual meet begins in Davos. What is this World Economic Forum? It releases lot many indexes. Even in the context of prelims also, this particular one is important, right, with respect to gender, with respect to business. It will be, it's a kind of think tank you can consider. So, the very core idea of this particular World Economic Forum is that it promotes an idea called as stakeholder capitalism. That is what I highlighted here. You can see stakeholder capitalism. What is stakeholder capitalism? Under which, if any particular organization, if it is coming up with any product, right, on which it's not just about the company's owner and the employees are the stakeholders. right? Even community, environment, all should be considered. So it widened the concept of capitalism, you can say. For example, see here, a company should serve all its stakeholders, not just shareholders. That means, in simple terms, what is stakeholder capitalism? Under stakeholder capitalism, only not just the shareholders of the company, but even others also should be considered while taking up any decision or while releasing any product. Right. So that is about this stakeholder capitalism. That's the reason every year in Davos, when they conduct these kind of meetings, they will be inviting people from all walks of life, politicians, business personalities, people who are in civil society, right? NGO members, they all will be inviting to discuss about, right? So how to improve the economy of the world. So that's the reason different chief ministers, different political business personalities, they will be visiting Davos, right? That's about this World Economic Forum. Next, this we already discussed. Bail under PMLA interpretation by Supreme Court, right? With respect exception for women, right? Though if even if women involves in any of cases related to PMLA, but there will be some special provisions under which they have to be dealt, especially with respect to granting bail. So that's what Supreme Court recently it got angered against some of the ED officials, right? When they said that like women should be on par with men when it comes to granting bails. Understood that? So in that context, it is. Next, this editorial, it is mostly about this global order. Why? Because now Trump got elected, so everyone is thinking like now a strong man got elected, right? So eventually will this it leads to great leadership or not, we have to wait and see. But at least now Americans have this feeling like they need a strong leadership. So they are feeling like there are lot many things, especially see there is a huge buzz about immigration. So every time they used to think like the locals are being sidelined, their per capita income levels are getting decreased. But the core point here, what we should understand is, rather than thinking much about immigration, there are some core issues like education, health of the locals, that is important. See, that's what this person also wrote here. See the essence here. The global economy is far too integrated for even most powerful entity. Imagine that it can hurt without getting hurt. So in simple terms, if you really want to hurt the global economy, so don't expect that you yourself not getting hurt, you will be hurting it, right? So US looks inward to improve infrastructure, invest in education, health of its citizens, create more jobs at home for unemployed. That would be good for world economy, right? If America first means investing US taxpayers money at home and not in soldiers who go to distant lands to die, that too would be good for America and world. The US still has the capacity to do global good and in helping itself for the world. So it's a kind of suggestion. The main core argument here is it's not just about America first. So just thinking of America first means only for the Americans, it will not work. So I will be doing a detailed video about this Indo-US relations, like how these recent decisions of US and the change of political leadership at the US will be impacting the relationship between India and US. I will be doing a video on this. Meanwhile, just see this as this buzz for legality for MSP. That means there must be a legal standard. Legal standard means for if you are fixing the MSP, if you are given a legal stand for it, government must follow it. Understood that? So that's the importance of legality. That's what the farmers are protesting for. If you legalize it, that means for sure MSP will be given. We will not miss it. But the core point most of the scholars are arguing is that it's MSP alone is not a magic wand that can solve all the problems of the agricultural sector. Right. So agricultural sector, if it really needs to improve, the farmer's income needs to be improved. Right. When farmer's income can be improved, first and foremost, when it comes to agriculture, there can be two divisions. Right. Pre-harvesting and post-harvesting. Right. when it comes to pre-harvesting, right, we have to provide sufficient technologies, and we need to improve the R&D so that with less amount of price, rather than using excessive amount of fertilizers, so thereby losing the value. With less amount of money, farmers will be coming up with more amount of crops. That is about the pre-harvesting thing. Once farmer got the crop, after harvesting the crop needs to reach to the market. Once they reach to the market, especially when there is excess crop, the prices are decreasing drastically. In that case, market has to be diversified. You cannot just think like farmers should sell only in the locally prescribed agricultural mandis. Right, the product need to be diversified. Understood. So if there is excess amount of tomatoes got produced at one particular place, right, if there is a proper cold chain network across the country, the product will be distributed across the country. Then the farmer will be benefiting for that. Or else, rather than right, the product is getting rotten, right, eventually they are disposing it somewhere without getting any value for that. So at the level of post harvesting, on one side we need to create these infrastructural facilities, cold storage facilities, warehouse facilities, right, and allowing farmers and integrating their product with outside market with options like forwards. Like in these markets they have to come directly, then they can sell their produces. Understood. So because the issue is continuously coming in the news, I feel this is important. At once, at least we should have an idea what exactly going on in the agricultural sector. We should get one idea. One time at least you have to invest your time. One time, if you give a full reading, I will also plan. If any of your interest, just let me know. I will do one full video on this particular idea. Right? If you just let me know, then only I can do that. So this is about, I think this already we discussed about it, a virus in perspective, about this human metapneumovirus, right? Because of the COVID, everyone thought like immediately we started saying like something similar to kind of COVID happened. But the thing here is this virus, right? It is existing since 2001. So we need to more aware and we need to be more cautious. Then we can reduce the fatalities. So we don't need to worry much about like what may happen. If we take proper precautions, we can be safe from this particular virus, right? So this is with respect to being a republican. That means within few days India is going to celebrate its 76th year of 75th anniversary. We are going to enter our 76th Republic Day. Okay. So in this context, what republic means is republic means just getting elected. A republic also means having a socio-economic autonomy. That means there will be social equality, right? Economic equality. Understood. So that's what this individual talks about, Yogendra Yadav. Next, today it's literally Trump occupied the newspaper. See this one. A few days back we used one word called as techno-industrial complex. Right? The outgoing president Joe Biden, right? He just said we shouldn't make some companies or some sectors most powerful. But if you see here, right? Musk, Pichai, Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, all are tech heads. So you can just understand. Next, it's all about again. Say this. Drill, baby, drill. More oil. See, globalization is set to grow slower pace than before. So we have lot many headwinds outside. Till now, especially post COVID, the industry and service sector, it has seen the growth, and that's the reason. Right. So for us also it worked well because most of our growth also came from the service sector, especially from the IT services. But if these services are getting slower at the global level, we must understand that we must need to revamp our other sectors. That's the reason I said agricultural sector. Agricultural sector must be, because it's the backbone, it must be revamped. Next, rest all. Okay, it is just headline. So again, this interesting match between Alcaraz and Djokovic. Titan meets Young Knight. So if anyone of you interested, can watch. That's it for the day. Thank you.